If you found out humanity was on its last knees, would you just give up? Or would you find a way? Find a way, no matter how hard the odds are, to change the future. If so, then that's the story of one of the greatest films of our generation, Interstellar. So let's talk about it. So it's been about a week or so since the official 10th anniversary re-release of one of the greatest films of all time, also known as Interstellar, from one of the most legendary directors of this generation, of pretty much of all time, in my personal opinion, one of my favorite directors literally ever. And with the confirmation that we're getting his next film, an adaptation of The Odyssey. Yes, the book everyone had to read back in high school. Everyone had to do poems about this. I remember I had to do like multiple essays in my AP English class as well as my AP History class. I remember that. Good book, but honestly, it got kind of annoying. But it's the baseline for pretty much all modern stories, heroic and non-heroic. It's basically set the tone for everything that we have today in media. So I'm super excited for that. It comes out July 2026, along with so many other films like The Batman, Dune Part 2, Avengers. And 2026 is such a good year for films, bro. Like, such a good year for films and TV in general. But I just want to give my takes on Interstellar. Even though it's not really a hot take, it is just one of the best films ever. There's no disregarding that. That being said, can't really spoil this movie. I mean, I can. It's been like 10 years. You guys had like 10 years to watch this. If you haven't, sucks. Sucks to suck. But where I begin, I remember watching this film actually about 10 years ago, honestly. But I didn't actually ever get a chance to watch this in theaters. I remember watching this with my dad, like my mom and my brother. Actually, no, I think it was just me and my dad and my mom just watching this in our living room. We rented it back when Redbox was a thing. We would have like family movie nights, stuff like that. And we watched it, and I think this is one of the few films I've actually ever seen him cry to. And at the time, I was pretty young. I didn't really understand how like stuff like this worked, but it just really, really got to me, especially the part where Murph, or where I forgot his character, is looking at Murph through the three-dimensional, fifth-dimensional future, and he's like, please Murph, yes, stop me, please stop me. And yes, him telling his daughter, yes, don't let me leave, Murph. Honestly, that's probably one of the saddest things ever, just seeing your daughter beg you not to go, and for you to go away, to essentially ignore her, to essentially abandon all your kids and hope for a better future, one that might not even come, one that you don't know if you have the possibility of even changing on a doomed planet. It is just sad. And the way that Christopher Nolan brings to life some of these effects, some of these visuals, I'm pretty sure you guys have seen breakdowns of how like crazy the visuals are, how crazy scientifically accurate for the most part this film is. Like, it's so accurate. There was actually studies made on the film, especially the black holes. It generated like about like 4 different papers on it because of how long it took to render the black hole, how accurate it was, and like it's just pretty insane overall, especially with the time dilation and how time works. It gets super complicated, and whenever I see people try to break down how the time dilation works on Cooper's planet, where 1 year is like 7 years there, or like it gets kind of confusing. Time dilation is something that just goes through my head and whatnot. But as far as the story goes, it's pretty simple, to be honest. Essentially, Earth is dying, and like when Cooper discovers a secret facility, he gets a message from nowhere. He decides to explore it, and he finds a chance to save humanity by being the first and the last pilot humanity ever has into the unknown, to go into this black hole and find another galaxy, to find a different path for humanity. Now, where does that lead us to? He pretty much did it. Pretty much from the beginning of the film towards the end of the film, it states that, yeah, he ultimately saved the planet, but at what cost? He lost his entire life with his kids And you gotta think about it. Like, if you were in a situation, could you actually do it? Could you actually have the mental fortitude to do what Cooper did? Me personally, I probably wouldn't. I probably just like would have lost it on the plans, just like Matt Damon's character. I really don't blame him from going insane, because like, think about it like this: you're sent to a different galaxy with the hope of doing this and like never coming back. Yeah, you'd kind of go insane too. Overall, this film is just really, really good. Even for 10 years later, it still stands as one of the best films of all time. And when I actually watched this in IMAX 70mm here in Dallas, it was such an experience. I've never experienced something as great as this. I honestly regret not watching Oppenheimer like this in theaters, like in this specific theater in 70mm slash IMAX. It was amazing from beginning to end. It just felt like an adventure. Like, if this is what people experienced back in 2014 whenever the movie came out, I gotta say I am super jealous, because I would have loved to experience something like this. It's just really, really amazing. And you're seeing the whole audience cry, you're seeing them go through the emotions and feel the vibrations, feel pretty much everything how they felt, the composure, the music. Also, the music is top notch. Hans Zimmer, chef's kiss. Like, he did such a phenomenal job scoring the score. It is just really good. Everything about this film is like amazing. I can't really complain or have any disregards. To me, this is one of those films that's like pretty much a 10 out of 10. It is one of the best films I have ever seen. It's probably my number one film of all time, if I'm gonna be honest. Like, I've seen a good amount of movies, but like, to me, this is just one of those films that's right up there. It is really good. It's one of my favorites. That being said, Interstellar is still peak. It's one of the greatest films of all time. A little bit biased. I really like the film, and yeah, that's just my thoughts on Interstellar 10 years later. How it holds up, still amazing, still great. I cannot wait for Christopher Nolan to cook on the Odyssey, and yeah, he's probably gonna find some monster deep beneath the earth and take a photo of it or something. I don't know. Anyways, I'll see you guys on my next video. So, yeah, peace.